Good afternoon. This is Juwan Buford broadcasting from Detroit, Michigan, and definitely excited to be your guest speaker for this afternoon's Business Solutions webcast. And I want to encourage you, look, if you have not done so, grab a pen and pad, be prepared to take notes. We cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time. We want to make sure you have a frame of reference in which to pose questions with the individual who invited you to hear this information. Indeed, I know one of my colleagues not made that invitation unless they really believe you could benefit from the information we'll be sharing here shortly. And, just briefly, my professional background is actually that of former investment advisors. I built my career working in the financial service industry for approximately 20 years. And I'm going to assume that many of you may be like I was when I was introduced to PPLSI approximately now 15 years ago. But since I'd heard about the company and some of the services they provided, but I wasn't absolutely certain. I had never received a full-on overview. And I'll be transparent, I wasn't very interested. If you do the math, 15 years ago, that was 2008. The economy was in a terrible place while the rest of the United States was going through a recession, what I would call a cold. State of Michigan was actually going through a full-blown depression. And like a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, professionals at that time, I was struggling like everyone else. I literally watched approximately a decade of blood, sweat, and tears literally disappear in a 3-month period of time when I saw my revenues and income literally be cut in half in a 3-month period of time. And so when I was initially introduced to these services, I was very skeptical. A gentleman came into my office, shared that PPLSI would provide me with access to attorneys and consultants and help me with my digital marketing presence, help me make better decisions in terms of my tax and accounting needs, help me also make decisions and understand the difference between a intellectual property matter involving a copyright or a trademark, or assist me with issues as relates to onboard employees and determine whether or not I should pay them 1099 or W-2. And I tell you, all these things sound fantastic to me. However, I was doing the math, and inside of my head, having utilized attorneys and business consultants previously, I'm thinking to myself, man, you're real tone deaf right now. I don't have $20,000 to $30,000 to pay for all these resources. Come back to me another time. And I think God was persistent. He wouldn't leave me alone. One day, he brought to my attention that this company actually provided access to estate planning. He didn't know it at the time. I literally just spent north of $2,000 to have my estate plan done. My will, my dual power attorney, medical director, the whole 9 yards. Look, I don't trust state of Michigan to fix potholes, okay? Much less make decisions about family. Don't come home one day. And then I'm looking at this brochure and I realized shortly thereafter, the same type of high caliber law firm I paid over $2K to, well, this plan would have provided that same exact estate plan for all $30. And I'll be frank with you, I was blown away, even a bit incredulous. And I reasoned to myself, if this service does half the things it say it does, it'll end up being one of the best investments I ever made. And it's been just that, whether it's structuring businesses and understanding the difference between an LLC, S Corp, C Corp, L3C, setting up management and holding companies, getting complex tax questions answered to maximize deductions, or simply buying a car or even a commercial property, or putting together a application for a virtual assistant. This plan has saved me tens of thousands of dollars over the years. And I tell you, why should you be excited about that, right? Why am I excited to share that with you? Well, look, when you become a client with PPLSI, we take you and we wrap you around a network of over 7,000 attorneys across the United States and Canada, including business services. And we serve upwards of 4.5 million lives and micro business owners and over 100,000 corporations that find our services very useful. And I think we all can agree that we have over 4.5 million individuals, corporations, many of them part of the Fortune 500 here in the United States. These companies have access and the capital to acquire the best talent and money to buy. But if they're utilizing our resources, we're bringing a lot of value to the marketplace. And understand that we are paying these firms anywhere from $250,000 to upwards of $2 million per month to serve you as our client. And I think once again, we can all agree that if you were to drive into a business planning firm's office anywhere in the United States, in any market, I don't care if it's Charlotte, Miami, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Philadelphia, Detroit, wherever it may be, and you were to cut that firm a check for upwards of $2 million per month, you'd expect a lot of access and privilege, right? And so one of the questions I'm fond of asking business owners on a regular basis is, if you knew you could pick up the phone And it doesn't matter what the nature issue is. It can be a dispute with an insurance company, right? You dot the I's, you cross the T's. Maybe you're in New York, maybe you're in Florida, maybe you're in Georgia, or maybe you're in Maryland, right? But the firm is in California and they don't want to pay the claim. What if you knew you could pick up the phone and have access to a law firm in California to motivate them to do the right thing? Maybe you've had questions about onboarding employees, determining should they be 1099 and W-2, what kind of paperwork is actually required, right, to onboard that employee properly. Maybe you're in a situation where you're concerned. You've been in business longer than 2 minutes. You realize that not only do you need to protect yourself from the public, but sometimes, unfortunately, your partners and people you work with. Right? What if you could pick up the phone and get advice and guidance and understanding what kind of paperwork will be required, right, to help out the onboarding process, protect your interests. Maybe you had concerns or interest in securing funding for your business, becoming what we refer to as capital ready. And you want to know, look, if I have an LLC, what type of paperwork do I need? Do I need an operating agreement? If I'm an S or C corp, do I need bylaws? What's a P&L statement or a profit and loss statement? How does corporate minutes factor into this, right? What if you knew you could pick up the phone and get questions and answers to matters like this? Or once again, you just want to protect your intellectual property rights. There's a gentleman whom I work with. He actually is what we refer to as a fashion icon. He's done very, very well for himself within the fashion industry within Detroit metropolitan area, but also nationwide. And I had a conversation with him recently about how he went online and found that there was another company utilizing his branding and hashtags to promote their business. He attempted to reach out to them on several occasions via Instagram and attempted to reach them via the phone, via email. No response. They continued to infringe upon his rights unabashedly. But thankfully, because he is a member with PPLSI, he was able to call our law firm. The law firm was able to send a message to that business, and literally 2 business days later, now he had conflict with them for weeks, but 1 letter and 2 business days later, they had removed the branding, the hashtags. That page was no longer in existence, utilizing this information. And look, I share that with you not to impress, but simply to impress upon you. When you have access to a network like this, things kind of go your way. People treat you differently, they handle you differently. And we know that dogs don't bark at parked cars. If you're progressing in life and making important decisions, whether it relates to your business, your family, legally, financially, and otherwise, it makes sense to pick up the phone. And I'm getting ready to share with you right now exactly what that approximate $2 million of value actually provides for you as a business owner. So some of the common issues that we're helping business owners with is structuring. Once again, understanding the difference between a DBA, LLC, S, or C Corp. Look, how you structure your business has serious tax consequences in particular. And we all know that it's not what you know, but what you don't know that can get you in trouble, right? If you're an LLC, I know your biggest headache is self-employment tax is 15% on top of state and federal. If you're an S or C Corp, you have to worry about non-taxable dividends, reasonable income calculations, understanding double taxation. And the bottom line is most business owners didn't go to tax school for several years to learn about these subject matters, right? Well, guess what? What if you could pick up the phone and gain advice and guidance on how to maximize your deduction? We know that you talk to the average accountant or CPA, they'll tell you that most small business owners are missing out on approximately $30,000 in tax deductions in a 3-year rolling period of time. And look, where I come from, $30,000 does not make you wealthy, but that's still a pretty penny. That's money you could be investing back into your business. That's money you could, for a lot of business owners, that's an employee. We also know that once your service or product's beta tested, you're taking on clients on a regular basis, man, there's only so many hours in the day. Eventually, you have to start looking to acquire talent yourself. And once again, how do you fill out paperwork for 1099 and W-2? What are tax consequences there, right? What type of documents do you need to have in place to protect your business? Because once again, unfortunately, sometimes people you work with will literally move across the street and become your competition once they learn your systems or learn about your client base or set up an Instagram account and literally try to become your competition online. Well, guess what? We provide you with independent contractor agreements, non-circumvents and non-competes, NDAs, which you'll oftentimes refer to as confidentiality agreements. And guess what? We'll also, once again, take the time to educate you about the difference between a copyright and trademark so you can protect your business interests. It's absolutely incredible. And look, you're going to hear me say this over and over again. It's baked into the cake. It's simply part of the plan. There's no additional cost for this for individuals who have our small business package. Once you start taking on staff, one of the other things you realize real quick, fast, in a hurry is you cannot pay for staff out of pocket anymore. It's just not tenable to use personal credit and personal finances. And once again, what if you knew you could pick up the phone and gain access to, once again, bylaws, operating agreements. Pick up the phone and understand a profit and loss statement, or understand how to utilize corporate minutes to make sure that you're capital ready or investable. So before you approach that bank, that micro lender, even a hard money lender or a private investor, you're prepared. You know, being in the financial services industry almost 2 decades, I cannot tell you how much it would break my heart when I would learn about a business owner who had a great product, great service, great work ethic, very talented, actually be declined for funding simply because they weren't made aware that these type of instruments are required to really set up your business for success. And look, you're going to hear me say this once again, these resources are literally just baked into the plan. It's absolutely incredible. So in other words, no more Google decisions, right? I'm not going to judge. I did the same thing early on in my entrepreneur career. Nowadays, it's ChatGPT. No more going online and dying by a million cuts because you're paying $500 here, $1,000 there, $3,000 there for services, for documents, and you're not even sure if the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. No more of that. You can pick up the phone and you can talk to our attorneys about documents. We have services where you can request the documents, so you curate and edit them to meet your particular needs. And once again, it's just all part of the service. Another thing that we provide that I really get excited about, so I'll be transparent with you. At this stage of the game, I'm not going to be up at 2, 4 o'clock in the morning learning how to design websites and landing pages. I'm just not about that life. I'm not going to learn C++. I'm not going to learn HTML or extensions or whatever it is you have to learn to do those things. I love the fact that because of our corporate relationship with HubSpot, we give you access to a portal where you can access landing pages. And yes, you're not paying $100 a month for these landing pages. It's included as part of that service plan. And so you can utilize those tools to promote your business via social media. Because of our corporate relationship with Weebly, which is owned by Squarespace, yeah, you probably already know where I'm going with this, right? Yes, we actually provide you with access to a website, whereas you're not paying $50 to $300 a month for hosting. You're not having to pay someone $3,000 to $5,000 to design a website that has shopping cart functionality, e-commerce baked into it. It's part of the plan. Now, it's a do-it-yourself portal, right? So you have templates and different designs you can use where you plot your text, you plot your videos, you plot your photos. But once again, you're not dealing with that exorbitant expense. And it's powerful. You know, I get excited about sharing this plan because I remember vividly each business that I attempted, sometimes failed at, thankfully succeeded as well. I remember what it was like when I first started out. And, you know, if you are a solopreneur or what we call a micro business owner, mean you haven't grown from a team of me to a team of we yet, right? It's just you. You know, one of the most incredible things about entrepreneurship is you get to monetize your passion. You get to decide how you want to make an impact in the world. And it's exciting for the first 2 minutes. However, what ends up happening is you realize you have to be the CEO, CFO, COO, CMO. You're trying to be the HR, tax, accounting, legal, marketing person. In addition to that, you're working overtime to make sure your clients are happy, right? Because we know happy clients lead to referrals and more growth. And the bottom line is things just get heavy real quick and be overwhelming, depressing. Because while talent and hard work wins games, teams win championships. And if you understand the value of this, I can really speed through the rest of the presentation. That's exactly what we provide. We provide you access to that network of 7,000 plus our business services, so you can spend more time working on your business as opposed to feeling trapped in your business. And it's powerful. So once again, you can pick up the phone and receive guidance and advice. Our firms are answering the phone to the tune of 40,000 times a week, so it's a heavily utilized plan. We write letters, we make phone calls, we review contracts and documents. It could be an MOU, a LOI. It could be a situation where you need a partnership agreement or a stock purchase agreement, or maybe you received a letter from a vendor or from another business owner right across the street and you didn't understand it and it didn't look favorable to you. Once again, pick up the phone. People sometimes ask me, you know, how do you utilize this plan to purchase equipment and goods and cars and properties, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll tell you how I utilized it last year. I acquired a multifamily, an 8-unit. It was the first time I had worked within commercial real estate. But to be transparent, I'm new to it, so I didn't know everything. And it was pretty nerve-wracking going through that process, but I cannot tell you how good it felt to be able to pick up the phone and actually have a law firm walk me through how to properly structure a purchase agreement and make sure everything was done properly. However, where the plan really came in handy was what transpired shortly thereafter after I acquired the building. I'm watching the news one day and I look up and I see a building on fire here in Detroit metropolitan area. And I said to myself, you gotta be kidding me, because that looks like the building I just acquired. And unfortunately, it was just that. I spoke to the seller. I informed him, please do not tell the tenants that it's going to be under new ownership, because unfortunately, sometimes we know if tenants are behind on the rent, they'll destroy property sometimes or just abuse it. Where they did better, they burnt off over 2/5 of the roof. And if you can't tell from my background, I don't fix burnt down buildings, right? It was an absolute catastrophe. On top of that, I found out the seller actually canceled the insurance on the building, trying to save himself a couple of dollars. Now, look, I'm involved in a transaction where it's as is, I'm out of my inspection period. That was very problematic. But fortunately, because I had access to this membership, I was able to pick up the phone, gain guidance and advice, have letters and phone calls written on my behalf to advocate in my interests. I was able to, thanks to the law firm, negotiate an additional $40,000 off the cost of that building, and then turn around and sell it for a $20,000 profit, right? And look, if you've been in business longer than 2 minutes, for a situation like that that lasts approximately 45 to 60 days, we know I would have paid north of some dollar figure. The bottom line is it would have had a comment in it. But thankfully, because I have access to this membership, I paid a whopping like 230 some odd dollars for all the service and protection assistance that you're hearing about today. It's absolutely incredible. And once again, I share that with you not to impress, but simply to impress upon you. This plan can be extremely beneficial, and it just gives you peace of mind where you can worry less and build more. So once again, if there's collection issues, if you need an employee handbook, IRS audits, or defense against lawsuits, we know that most lawsuits have nothing to do with merit or principle. If someone typically is mad at you, they're upset with you, they're trying to get over on you or take advantage of you. And guess what? Yes, we will actually go to court and we will defend your business against civil suits. Now, look, obviously, you can't be Grand Theft Auto, if you catch my drift. You have to be operating within the framework of the law. Can't be out here robbing banks and jewelry stores, committing fraud, et cetera, if you catch my drift. But as long as your business is operating on up and up, yes, we will go to court and we'll defend your business interests. We provide information and access to resources involving cybersecurity. And you can also access resources that will help you make better decisions if you're curating or marketing your business plan. And once again, you already know what I'm getting ready to say with this, right? It's baked into the cake. It's just part of what we provide. For those individuals who may not be business owners yet, or maybe your business is a hobby, right? And you're like, you know what, all this makes sense. Can I protect my family through service? And the answer is certainly yes, you can. And yeah, you're looking at that price correctly, $29.95. That's it for this entire grocery list of services that we provide to families. It's absolutely incredible. And look, I'm not going to go read through this ad nauseum because I've kind of covered a lot of this content already. But you know, there's that word unlimited again. Personal legal advice on an unlimited number of issues. And unlimited means unlimited. Because I know as I start to wrap up here in a moment, some of us are going to be asking, do you cover this, or you cover this, or you cover that, or you cover that? Look, once again, unlimited means unlimited. So if you have a real estate issue, you need a real estate attorney. You have a family law issue, you need a family law attorney. You receive a traffic ticket, you need an attorney that deals with traffic tickets. You want to get your estate plan done. For those who are business plans, you want to start an ergonomics company in Chicago, Illinois, or a staffing company in New York, or you want to start up a hair salon in Los Angeles. The power of the plan is you're not getting access to just one attorney or even just one firm. You're getting access to the entire network. Because it's a legitimate question. People ask us all the time. Why do you have wealthy corporations and individuals, judges, attorneys who have access to these resources? It's because we all understand at some point that professionals specialize. No one will contact a foot doctor operating on their brain. That wouldn't make sense, right? And so you can have the peace of mind and knowing you're not dealing with a jack of all trades, master of none. You're going to be dealing with a professional that actually specializes in your area of need. It's powerful. And once again, we'll write letters and make phone calls and advocate on your behalf for personal documents. We'll review up to 15 pages in length. Unlimited number of documents. So we don't care if it's a gym membership. We know the big print, give it, a small print, take it away, right? And we also know corporations have legal departments protect themselves from our supposed bad behavior. Let's be real, squeeze as much value as they can out of us. We should protect our rights as well. Being a former investment advisor, I could cheat and spend 2 hours talking about estate planning. Look, I'm just going to take 20 seconds. Just encourage you to get it done. The only people winning probate court are the judges and the attorneys. And so often I hear of individuals speaking of financial independence and passing on legacy and building wealth and transfer and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And look, I'm here to tell you, you're just talking if you don't have your estate plan updated. The only thing you're really going to leave behind is memories, tears, pictures, and people fighting over silver spoons. It's included as part of the plan. Once again, traffic violations, moving traffic violations covered. Just be properly licensed, properly insured under influence. IRS audit, civil trial defense. If someone attempts to sue you personally, right? Give us a phone call. Family domestic services is the only part of the plan where there's actually a 90-day waiting period. But after that, as long as it's uncontested, in other words, it's not the Jerry Springer show, if you catch my drift, right? People aren't throwing the bowls in the middle of the day, police being called to the household, you're fighting like a war of roses in the courtroom. As long as those things are not happening, yes, after 90 days, divorce, adoption, separation, name change, included part of the plan. Now, look, you just have to know for a couple dollars a day, we can't save the world, right? And we're not trying to encourage bad behavior either, right? I think we all understand that we can't cover DUIs and things like that, right? Drinking and driving, you know, I hear kids talk about turning up over the weekend. Well, look, if you're about that life, you're getting a 25% discount. I think we can agree you shouldn't be getting divorced every single year, and it shouldn't be the Jerry Springer show, right? You shouldn't be in a situation where you're having to file bankruptcy every single year, or you're in a habit of collecting misdemeanors or felonies like marbles, right? Look, we can't cover stuff like that at 100%, but you will receive a 25% discount. Let's say you have a pre-existing condition. So you have a legal matter that happened before you acquired the service, right? We'll still consult with you and help you navigate choppy waters like this. We may even look at a document, but the moment the attorney actually has to start producing documents and showing up in court, testifying on your behalf, that's where that 25% comes into play. But I'm going to assume no one listening is Grand Theft Auto, so I'm just going to keep it moving, right? The 24/7 emergency access is exactly what it says. It is 2, 4 o'clock in the morning, 2, 4 o'clock in the day, Christmas, Easter, every holiday you think of. The bottom line is, if you are being pulled over by a police officer, whether it be in the middle of the night, afternoon, or late in the evening, you can tap a button on the phone and immediately get an attorney on the phone to help you navigate that situation. This is powerful. I think anyone who's ever been in a traffic accident understands when the police arrive on the scene, it may not necessarily be your friend. And let me tell you, coming from financial service industry, the insurance company certainly weren't like, it's not going to be your friend when it comes to this, right? Look, you know, I have family members and friends who are police officers, and they've educated me quite a bit. They say, look, if you pull your gun, that's a civil issue. You can literally be sued for pulling your gun as a gun owner. If you fire your gun, well, now we know we've opened up another bag of worms, right? And who wants to play Russian roulette when it comes to their life, dealing with a police officer, a prosecutor, or a judge who may not see things your way? This is powerful, right? To know that 24/7 around the clock, you and your family members can be protected by this plan. And you know, let me be really transparent too as well, because look, I have family members and friends, once again, that are police officers. We never want any individuals to misconstrue. I think very highly of police officers. They're one of the most difficult jobs in the world, but we also don't need to watch Channel 4 News. No, it only takes one bad apple to make an errant judgment or ruin or take someone's life. And for me, this is just worth the price of admission, particularly if you have teenage drivers and young adults in your home. So who's covered by our membership? It can be you, your spouse, or significant other, 2 children, 10 children, doesn't matter to us. Covered up to the age of 26, so they're living at home, not married, or in school full time. If you've adopted children, according to the age of 18, then any mentally or physically disabled child is protected for the life of the plan, okay? If you are a business owner and you have employees, okay, so I want to make a clear demarcation here. You're a business owner with employees, full-time employees, W-2s, payroll, or your business owns assets, our flagship plan is our Business Plus plan. And yes, as I indicated before, consultation, document review, letters and phone calls written on behalf, assistance with IP matters. These resources can be made available to you. For those individuals who are interested in help in terms of marketing your business, right? Not only protecting, but helping to grow your business. So you want access to landing pages, you want access to websites, you would like a legal library, right? To save time, money, and stress. You would like advice on IT matters, marketing, business planning, strategic and tactical information analysis. Well, guess what? We make those resources available to you for just $14.95, okay? For business owners who understand the value of protecting the cash cow, I think $14.95 is a really inexpensive price to pay to protect the thing that is providing you with the financial independence and solvency and freedom in your life. Once again, I think $14.95 inexpensive price to pay, especially considering most lawsuits have nothing to do with merit principle. And as a business owner, even if you win, you lose because of time, money, stress, and even sometimes loss of reputation associated with a legal matter that drags you in the court. So $14.95, be aware that we make that resource available to you. Now, what if you're a micro business owner? Once again, you haven't grown from a team of me to a team of we yet. Maybe you have a spouse and a child. Maybe you have a part-time individual, right, working for you. Maybe they're a virtual assistant or administrative assistant. But the bottom line is you don't have W-2s, you don't have payroll, you don't have full-time employees. Well, if that's you, we consider you a micro business owner. And yes, you're looking at that price correctly for $59.85. Not only will we protect your business interests, but we will also protect you and your family personally. It's absolutely incredible. So once again, consultation, document review, letters and phone calls made on your behalf. One of my favorite parts of this plan is that it's interstate. I travel a lot. I may be in Oklahoma, I may be in Georgia, I may be in Florida, I may be in Colorado or Illinois, conducting business at any given time. And I love the fact that that network of 7,000 travels with me. In addition to that, once again, we provide you with CRM, so you're not out there spending anywhere from $300 to $1,000 every 2 to 3 months to have access to a CRM, including landing pages. Once again, we provide you a website to help promote your business, a legal library to request documents, and once again, that business consultation. And once again, I get excited to share, and it's amazing to me, $59.85. And yes, we make all these resources available to you. And get this, we also will protect up to 3 business entities. Okay, so if you're a solo prop and you own 3 different businesses, you don't have full-time employees, any payroll, yes, we will cover that. We'll cover you. Also, we'll cover up to several real estate properties if you're interested in real estate, if you're a real estate investor. So incredible combination services. In addition to that, for those individuals who may be gun owners, be aware that we make a gun owner's plan available to you for $14.95. Really inexpensive price to pay to protect your liberty as a gun owner, whether you're open or concealed carry. The bottom line is, if a situation arises where you pull your gun or fire a gun, no, we'll protect you long as it's not obviously involved in the committal of a crime. Now, you're going to see me skip through a couple slides here. I'll be frank with you. I don't spend an inordinate amount of time talking about identity theft. I just don't. So you're going to see me move through this. I mean, at this point, you know, I firmly believe you got to be living in a cave not to realize it's a concern. It's the fastest growing crime in the world. I know everyone listening, including myself, you either been a victim of identity theft or you know someone else who has. And let me clarify this. Look, if you have credit monitoring through your bank, through a credit card company or some financial services institution, through your employer, that's great, that's fantastic, right? Somebody tries to buy a house or file an escrow in your name, I think we all can agree that's a problem, right? You want to protect yourself. Someone tries to go on a spending spree at Target and get a credit card in your name, you want to protect yourself. But if someone posts negative information about you via social media, or you make an error and post something inappropriate, or worse yet, somebody hacks your account, I think we all can agree that's a problem, right? We know companies actually make hiring and firing decisions based on what they find out about you via social media. And people make buying decisions, by the way, too, for the entrepreneurs listening. And so we provide that type of protection. Obviously, if you're dealing with any of those situations, a credit monitoring is not going to be of much assistance. If somebody tries to get a payday loan in your name, or they decide they want to open up a fraudulent account in your name, right? When a bank starts closing accounts and you're accused of check fraud, once again, I think we can agree that, you know, credit monitoring company is not going to be of much assistance. No, I remember a couple months ago, a young lady gave a very emotional testimony at one of our live presentations where she shared when she was filing her taxes, her accountant informed her that somebody actually set up a business in her name, set up an EIN in her name. And what do you do? The IRS audits you 3, 5, 10 years now talking about a business you're not even aware of and you owe $30,000 in back tax. I wouldn't even know how to begin to resolve that situation. And the issue of identity theft is this: you are guilty first. You have to prove your innocence, because telling them I didn't do it or telling the authorities I didn't do it is not going to go over too well, right? And that's the biggest difference between us and everyone else. We just don't cover your credit. We cover your entire identity. You know, I've encountered families that are paying anywhere from $50, $60, as high as $80 per month to have protection against issues related to their credit. My whole perspective is, if you're going to protect your identity, you're just going to protect your entire identity. And we do it for literally 1/3 the price. It's absolutely incredible. In addition to that, aside from monitoring, we also provide you a restoration. This is a big deal. Because let's be real, if you're a victim of identity theft, you're not interested in sitting on the phone talking to some customer service rep for 5, 10, 15, 30, 40, 50 hours, spending hours and hours of your time away from work, family, and everything else, and spending thousands of dollars trying to resolve it yourself. No, what you're going to want access to is licensed private investigators who specialize in this area. You're going to want access to the network of 7,000 attorneys. For those who have our legal plan, we'll do whatever it takes, as long as it takes to restore your identity back to where it was. before the fraud occurred. And we'll spend up, once again, upwards of $1 million doing so. It's powerful. For those individuals who have our legal plan and our ID Shield plan, our identity theft plan, we also provide you with debt management, financial budgeting. We educate you about your credit rating. Now, I've been watching the news like everyone else, and it's sad to see all these repossessions and foreclosures literally skyrocketing right now. For most families, purchasing a house or a car will be the most important investment you ever make. And it's very easy to find yourself in a situation where you are house or car poor. Well, guess what? Pick up the phone and we'll educate you about how to protect yourself, how to set yourself up for success financially. In addition to that, we know 70% of credit reports are inaccurate. And so if you're suspicious about information on your credit report, you think there's information that's dated that shouldn't be there, guess what? You know where this is going, right? You can literally pick up the phone and get access to our fraud investigators, get access to our network of attorneys to help you build your credit and get that negative information off of it. Look, I love this part of the plan. I remember several years ago, all the rage, people were paying, $1,000 to $1,200. They were out here paying $90 a month after that for this type of access. And yes, we provide this, it's baked into our plan. So absolutely incredible. The ID Shield plan is very similar to the legal plan since you can cover yourself or you can cover spouse or significant other, 2 children, 10 children, up to the age of 18 though, for monitoring, because once you reach the age of 18, that is, you're considered an adult. But we will restore an identity, a young adult's identity up to the age of 26. So be aware of that. All right. The ID Shield plan is $34.95 for a family. Okay. But we give you almost a 30% discount if you're an individual and you want to access the plan for $19.95. And once again, this is powerful, right? To provide this type of access and resources. And if you haven't noticed, I've used that word membership on multiple occasions, right? That's something else that we want to make sure you're aware of, because these are memberships. It's a la carte. So you pick and choose the combination of services that make the most sense for you. If you're just looking to cover your family, just pay $29.95. If you're a micro business owner, it's $59.85. If you're just interested in the ID Shield for your family, it's $34.95. You pick the plan, once again, that meets your criteria, meets your priorities. There's no situation where you're locked into anything either. Everything is month to month. It's something we're proud of because we don't have to lock you into these memberships. We know once you start utilizing it, you'll never want to be without it once you start understanding the value of it and being empowered with it. In addition to that, we have another benefit called member perks. No worries, it's included, it's part of the plan. I love this part of the service. We have a relationship with 400 retailers all across the United States and Canada. Why am I excited to share this with you? Why should you be excited? Well, I'll tell you, a couple years ago, I was headed to an appointment. I was underdressed. I needed to run into a store and grab a sport coat. Instead of spending $300 for that sport coat, I spent $150. Yes, you are hearing that correctly. Last time I took a trip to Raleigh, North Carolina, I stayed at the Courtyard Marriott a couple of years ago. I'm an Airbnb guy, but I figured we need to try it out, see what happens. It should have been $190 a night, but because I have access to this membership and member perks, I paid $90 a night. You throw in my airline ticket and car rental expenses, you was talking about an extra of $1,000 in savings. Absolutely incredible. I remember speaking with a good friend of mine a couple of weeks ago who purchased an HP laptop utilizing this plan from Best Buy. Instead of spending $3,000 on that laptop, he spent $1,800 instead. So hopefully you are smelling what I'm cooking here, right? We're not talking about those little cute 3 and 5% discount programs that we know are out there. We're talking about 30, 50, 7% on up with many of these retailers. The average household is easily saving $200 to $2,400 a month. I apologize, per year for the households. I'm thinking about being an entrepreneur, how much it saved me periodically. As an entrepreneur, I mean, there are going to be months where you'll save an extra of $1,000. It's just our way of saying thank you. But also, look, helping you keep more of your hard-earned money in your back pocket, right? A dollar saved, a dollar earned. That's when you can be investing back in your family, your business, et cetera, et cetera. And so we're excited to share this value prop with you. The uber majority of our services are provided via an app. I love this part of the plan. If you've utilized attorneys before, I know previous to enrolling in this membership, I've paid attorneys as much as $15,000. And I'll tell you, there's no worse feeling in the world than paying a professional to do something and they disappear for 2 to 3 weeks. You can't get a phone call or email response. You don't know what's going on. So guess what? It's not what we need here. All these different resources are being monitored on the app. So if you call our firm, and let's say hypothetically the attorney that you need is not there, our firms are contractually obligated to respond within 4 business hours. And guess what? Those discussions and interactions are being monitored, and you can view it from the app. They have 48 hours to review a document. Once again, that progress can be reviewed from the app. Hopefully, you never need them to go to court to defend you or your business. But if the unfortunate should happen, guess what? It can be monitored from the app. I love this part of what it provides. It's peace of mind for you as our client. It's accountability to the law firms, but also be aware, not only are you monitoring this activity, but PPLSI Corporate is monitoring it as well. And look, you just got to know there are thousands of law firms lined up that would love to receive anywhere from $250,000 over $2 million per month to serve our clients. So it's actually, it's powerful. So brief recap for those individuals who may just have families, right? And you want to protect your family with this service. I mean, I've never seen a family that doesn't believe that their personal and family and financial matters aren't worth $1 a day. Literally, it's just $29.95. That's it. For those individuals who are micro business owners, let me make sure I stress that again. You haven't grown from a team of me to a team of we yet. For $14.95, our home-based business supplement, you add that to $29.95, that's $44.90. And not only will the attorneys be available to protect your family, but also protect you and help you with your business interests. If you have access or desire access, that is, to marketing, you desire access to business planning, you want access to a legal library, you want access to tools to promote your business, well, for $14.95, that's our Business Plus supplement. Gun owner supplement is $14.95. Our ID Shield plan, once again, for an individuals, $19.95. And then for families, $34.95. And then let me make sure I make this clear demarcation here. Our small business plan, meaning you are a business owner with full-time employees, right? You have an EIN, you have payroll, W-2 full-time, or your business owns assets, $99. And if you want to protect your business, protect the cash cow, it's $14.95. So definitely excited for the opportunity to share this information with you. And look, while you being educated about the membership is very important to us, I want everyone to understand that you simply enrolling in the services is not the bag for us. That's not the bag. Our goal, our vision is to help over 100,000 entrepreneurs over the next 10 years successfully launch and grow their businesses. You know, it's hard to make smart decisions in terms of your family when you don't know where your next check is coming from, whether or not your job's not going to be here 3 to 5 years from now because of AI. We want to help more people get on the right side of the fence and start businesses. We also want to help business owners level up, become the employers in their community, right? Because you're the opportunity provider in your community. You're employing your family, friends, and neighbors. You get to communicate, and you also get to curate what transpires in the neighborhoods that you live in. You get to determine whether or not that grass gets cut. You get to determine whether or not there's a liquor store or whether or not there's a rec center at the end of your block. So for us, the membership is a means to help you do these things. We want to see you level up. So as a member, you'll receive ongoing support to make sure you're having a favorable experience with the membership. For those individuals who have B2B experience, you know, it couldn't be a better time to be partnered with a company like ours. We know there's 500,000 businesses being born. According to the SBA several years ago, I think that number is actually, quite frankly, a lot bigger than what's being reported. People have finally realized they believe in job security miles, believe in the tooth fairy. And I'll tell you, it just makes sense to be able to partner with a company like ours. Because most of these businesses are not going to fail for a lack of talent or for a lack of work ethic or bad product and services. It's because they don't have access to these resources. And we make these big business resources available for that small business budget. So if you're the plug in the community, you're the person that is having conversations with people about entrepreneurship. You're having conversations with people about finances. You're having these discussions already, right? Well, look, we're not looking for employees. We're not looking for underlings. We're looking for change agents. People who believe entrepreneurship is empowerment, just like we do. There's no quotas, there's no restrictions. In other words, you are your own bosses, an opportunity to create a platform for yourself to go out and serve the community, earn additional revenues. We've been doing this for 15 plus years, right? We have a track record where over the last 10 years, We have over 1,000 associates and affiliates who are earning in excess of 6 figures. Many of them work from home. The thing that I get most excited about, and I was excited about when I took a look at this 15 years ago, was the fact that we also have, at this point, over 30,000 associates and affiliates. You know, there are companies that don't have 1,000 or 30,000 employees. And we have that many individuals earning a residual revenue, meaning they built a book of business, many of them 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. They're no longer active with our company, many of them, but they're still receiving tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes on a monthly and weekly basis. And I'm going to assume many of you, you're business owners, you're probably like me in the sense that you're not afraid of work. You just want something to show for it, right? And I'm assuming many of you are getting bombarded just like I am. Text messages, emails. I don't even know how to get my contact information about these pie in the sky opportunities where money's going to fall from the sky like manna because I chose part. No, we're a company with a 50+ year track record. You know, I'm not interested in someday, one day dreams. I have children, responsibilities. They swing the refrigerator every day of the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is on my calendar, not someday, one day. And I love the fact this company already has a track record of creating success. In other words, it's fertile ground. So I'm going to go back for a moment, give you a chance perhaps to take a snapshot of the premium points, depending on what membership would make the most sense for you. Definitely get back with the individual who invited you to hear this information. Let them know what you like best. If you have questions about the membership, we can set aside time to make sure those questions get answered. If you have questions about not only the service, but perhaps how you may partner with us as an affiliate and associate, and how to monetize the conversations and interactions you're already having, we'd welcome the opportunity to have that discussion with you as well. With that being said, I celebrate your success in advance. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye for now.